Hi everybody, it's Stephanie. This video today is sponsored and approved by Nintendo. So at my house, we play a lot of games and video games, and sometimes a game will come along and I think that it really fits with me and it fits my style of gaming. And the game I'm talking about today is Pokemon Cafe Mix from Nintendo. If you've not heard of this game yet, Pokemon Cafe Mix is a cute and lovely puzzle-style game with absolutely adorable art where you are connecting Pokemon icons to cook delicious dishes and mix up yummy drinks. It is so cute and my kids are having so much fun with this game right now. Before this game even came out, I was researching it and I was watching all the videos online and looking at the photos, and I saw what I thought was a beautiful cake with Eevee on the top. And so I was so excited about making this cake, and then after playing the game I realized it wasn't a cake, it was fluffy pancakes. So tell me, does this look like a cake or pancakes to you? Either way, I had my heart set on making a cake, so today I am making a cake version of fluffy Eevee pancakes. All right, let's get into it. I have already mixed up my cake batter, and if you'd like this recipe, you can find it down in the description box. To make the pancakes, we will need 3 8-inch round cake pans, and I'm filling these each with about 3.5 cups of batter. In my half sphere cake pan, we'll need about 2 cups of batter. I like to add a flour nail to my half sphere to make sure it cooks evenly in the center. Also, my 8-inch cakes will be wrapped in cake strips so that they will bake up nice and even. And you can pour the remaining batter into any pan you have, as this will be used for cake pop filling later on. I'm pulling these out of the oven, and I already ran a knife around the edge of the cake, and then I am flipping it over. There it is. It looks absolutely beautiful. And same for my half sphere cake, and I'm pulling off the parchment paper and getting rid of that flour nail too. I want each of my layers to be equal in height, so I'm marking them at about 1.5 inches, and then I am running my knife along the top to make it a perfect cake layer. I have already mixed up a batch of my American buttercream, and I have separated out 4 cups of the frosting, and I'm coloring that a burnt orange color by mixing a little orange, brown, and red food color gels. Alright, let's layer this cake up. I'm starting by placing my first layer of cake on a white serving platter, and then I am piping a layer of my orange buttercream frosting, and then I am smoothing that out with my offset spatula. And then I am adding another cake layer, and then another layer of my orange buttercream frosting. And I pop my last 8-inch layer of cake right on the top. In the game, the pancakes have whipped cream on the top, so I am piping a nice and thick layer of buttercream frosting on the top, and I begin piping the sides to look like whipped cream that is dripping down. And for this, I am using a disposable piping bag with a large round piping tip on it. There is no need to get this perfect at all, just have fun making little dollops and drips down the side. And once I have it piped, I begin smoothing it out with my offset spatula. If you have trouble smoothing it out, you can refrigerate it until the frosting hardens up, and then try smoothing it out again with a hot spatula and more frosting. And I continue smoothing that out and just going over each little dollop of frosting and trying to get that nice and smooth. Okay, this cake looks really good as is, and it could definitely be left just like this, but I wanted it to look even smoother and a little bit more cartoonish, so I am adding a layer of fondant just over the white frosting. So I am rolling out some fondant, and then I am draping it over my rolling pin and then unrolling it onto my cake. And then I am using my hands to smooth out the fondant around each little drip of frosting, and then I trim away the excess with my craft knife. The edges weren't as nice as I would like them to be, so I cleaned it up just a bit using a modeling tool to push that fondant underneath the frosting, and I think that looks so much better and really cute. I smoothed it out once again and used another modeling tool to create curved lines to make it look more fluffy, just like whipped cream. I am also cutting some of the fondant on the top to get rid of it so that Evie will fit nicely right into that gap on the top. Okay, let's get to work on cute Evie's head. So I am torting this cake right through the center by running my knife through it while turning my turntable. Next, I have a 6-inch cake circle, and I'm wiping a little frosting on my board, and I begin layering up my cake with a layer of buttercream frosting right in the center. And then I pop the rest of the cake right on the top. Next, I'm going to get Evie's head all covered in buttercream frosting. So I'm getting that on there with my offset spatula, and then I'm smoothing that out with a plastic flexible smoother. And once that is all smooth, I am popping it into the refrigerator to chill. Once the frosting is completely chilled, I'm rolling out some brown fondant and I spray the cake with some water, and then I cover the head completely with fondant. Half sphere cakes are pretty easy to cover, and once I have that smoothed out, I am cutting away the excess fondant. Alright, let's make Evie's ears. The fondant I'm using has been colored brown, and I kneaded in a little Tylose powder into it to strengthen it and to help it dry out faster. I've cut out the ears from my template, and I'm placing it on top of the fondant, and I use my craft knife to cut it out. And I repeat the same process for the insides of the ears too. I am brushing my ears with a little water, and I press a flat lollipop stick down into it, and then I place the darker part of the ear right on top. These ears need time to dry out, so I always let them dry out overnight, so be sure to plan for that. Okay, before I can stack the cake, I am adding dowels. These are milkshake straws that I've cut to the exact height of the cake, and I'm adding one in the back, one in the front, and one on each of the sides, and this will hold the weight of the Evie cake. And then next, I am carefully sliding the Evie cake right on top of the pancakes. I have also cut out the eyes and nose out of fondant using my template, and I'm attaching those to the cake too. This is looking so cute so far. I'm really pleased with it. Okay, let's move on to the tail. To make these, I am using the extra cake that I made, and I'm mixing it with a dab of buttercream frosting to make a cake pop filling. Once that is combined, I am molding it into the shape of the tail, and this will get a layer of buttercream frosting too. I am using my brown fondant again to cover the tail, and once I've cut off the fondant around the sides, I am using my tool to push the fondant underneath the cake to clean it up. The top of the tail will get a layer of white fondant, and I'm cutting it to match the look of Evie's cute tail. The whipped cream actually looks like Evie's mane. You do not have to do this step, but I decided to paint it to give it some shading. So I made some paint using just a tiny bit of brown food color gel, and I mixed that with a couple drops of lemon extract, and then I painted the mane. And I'm also doing the same for the white on the tail. I have also cut out a wisp of hair out of fondant, and that is going onto the cake, and I also pushed the ears into place. I also darkened up the middle of the ears just a bit with a darker shade of brown paint. Next, I am making the fruits out of fondant, but if you want though, you could always use real fruit or maybe candy or gummy fruits. I think those would look really cute too. Okay, this is a kiwi that I'm making. I am using my circle cutters to cut this out, and then I am giving it a yellow center, and also I am painting it to look just like a kiwi. The orange is up next, and I am cutting out a circle of fondant, and I'm using a modeling tool to create the texture and the pattern of the orange, and this one is also getting painted too. Next up is the side of whipped cream on the plate. This is made just like the tail by molding cake pop filling into the shape of the whipped cream, and then I am covering that in more buttercream frosting. To make it look like a piped dollop of cream, I am winding a rope of fondant around it first, and then I cover it completely in white fondant. I think this is looking so cute. It looks almost exactly like the real thing. All right, let's put this all together. I am moving my whipped cream dollop over onto the plate, and then I am sticking orange sprinkles in it one at a time. And then I am topping off the whipped cream with a couple of mint leaves. And lastly, I am adding more mint and my fondant fruits. This cake is definitely one of my favorites of all time. I just love the art style of all the Pokemon, and I have very much loved making this Eevee cake, and I adore the game Pokemon Cafe Mix. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope that you have picked up a few tips on cake decorating. If you have any ideas for me, I always love hearing those, so please let me know down in the comments section. And I will be back again next week with another baking video, so I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye everybody!